The Isles of Scilly, 28 miles out into the Atlantic off the coast of Cornwall, have a dual nature. They are a place of storm-lashed rocks where many ships have come to grief. But at the same time, the kindly effects of the Gulf Stream give them a subtropical climate, where many unusual and spectacular plants thrive. That most of the islands were one landmass in the Bronze Age is now generally accepted. There are the remains of houses on the tiny island of Norna in the Eastern Isles that have now been partly destroyed by the sea. Indeed, Cylonians usually refer to their land simply as Scilly. Legend, however, goes further and holds that a fertile land called Lyonesse stretched outward from what is now Land's End, and that the islands were hilltops, once part of this land. It is claimed that at the Seven Stones rocks between Land's End and Scilly, where legend has it that there was a great town called the City of Lions, small diamond-shaped panes set in lead and forming rude casements have been found, and the tops of buildings have been observed under the sea. There is also evidence that the area of Scilly was considered a holy place in ancient times, for prehistoric sites are concentrated in its tiny area. In fact, there are more chambered cairns than in the whole of Cornwall. Norna was a particular religious centre in Roman times, with a shrine where many goddess figurines have been found. Lyonesse also figures in Arthurian legend. It's in Tennyson's Morte d'Arthur, and the Reverend Whitfield in Scilly and its Legends paints a Moses-like scenario of Arthur's followers fleeing Mordred over Lyonesse after Arthur's death. Merlin appeared, causing the earth to quake and the land to sink, engulfing the rebels, while the loyal followers of Arthur escaped safely to Scilly. When visiting the islands, I noticed that there seemed something familiar about the local map. Suddenly I realised what it was. The outline of the islands bore a distinct similarity to the figures of the Glastonbury Zodiac found by Katharine Maltwood, but going in the opposite direction. In Somerset, the figures go round anti-clockwise, while in Scilly, their sequence is clockwise. When looking at the undersea contours, the similarity became even more apparent. Most of the figures seem to be in their correct positions, though there are some strange anomalies. Also, there are a number of significant place names. Cancer is a ship in this zodiac, as it is in Somerset. The rear structure of the ship is clearly outlined by stony Porth, and there is a stone ship Porth just to the north. The ship appears to have a large figurehead called Shipman Head. Leo is a huge bounding lion, formed by St. Martin's. Its head formed by White Island, one front paw being Lion Rock, one back leg is formed from the Eastern Isles, Great Ganilli and Great Innisvals, Little Ganilli and Great Arthur and Little Arthur form the other. It's also the figure facing the Seven Stones, legendary site of the City of Lions, capital of Lyonesse. St. Mary's is, of course, Virgo, the next figure in the zodiac. I thought at first that the hue on which the garrison is built was the head, and Peninis an arm. But a closer look shows that the latter is in fact the head, although not very obviously at the present time. Peninis means island head, and although many headlands are called head, in this case it's emphasised by the presence of inner head and outer head. There is no obvious corn connection with the hue, which is the wheat sheaf of the Virgin, but there is a rat attacking it, Rat Island by the quay, which seems to be somewhat rat-shaped. John Leland, the antiquarian, who claimed to have visited Scilly in about 1540, wrote, "There is one isle of the Scillies called Rat Isle, in which there be so many rats that if horse or any other living beast be brought thither, they devour him. In the middle of the island is the famous Long Rock, which seems to slightly resemble a dolphin. Its edge is at 240 degrees, and Lawrence felt a ley running at this angle. This could be the alignment of Bants Carn, the Long Rock, Lower Inisydgan entrance grave, and a marked cairn on Menwethan in the Eastern Isles. The stone is in a clump of amazingly shaped Scots pines. Upper Inisydgan's entrance grave is aligned 15 to 20 degrees, and there is a cairn nearby. A picture of the interior taken in 2008 shows two strange orbs which appeared on the picture of the interior. A close-up of the orbs. Lower Inisydgan entrance grave was found to be pointing towards Cornwall, the direction of the alignment detected by Lawrence. Perhaps the most beautiful figure is the next, Libra, which is a dove, as in Somerset. It is the island of St. Agnes. Its wings are outstretched, the southern one being formed by Wingeltang Down. The undersea contour shows the other, with Great Smith and half-time ledges. Its beak is at Long Point, and the Troy Town labyrinth, formed of white pebbles, is in the right position to be its eye. Traditionally laid out by a lighthouse keeper in 1720, it may be earlier. A line from it to the Old Man of Gu goes across the bar, the line of flight of the dove. The island of Gu, joined to St. Agnes at low tide, is its great fan tail. The Old Man of Gu, a quill-shaped stone, could be a feather in the tail. It is opposite the garrison on St. Mary's, and on a ley found by Andy Norfolk, which runs along Kittern Hill from Dropnose Point, through the Old Man, a cairn, and along a stone row to another cairn. Scorpio is formed by the treacherous Western Rocks, and its outline formed by the undersea contour. The HMS Association was wrecked on the Gillstone, on the western claw of this fearsome figure. The scorpion shape of the undersea contour. Gemini is not clear, but the twin hills of Samson may be part of it. Tresco is something of a mystery, being between Cancer and Leo. It could possibly be the other twin. If so, it's a girl twin, from its general shape and Skirt Island to the south, but this is in no way as clear as with the other figures. Tresco also seems to have a twin nature, which reflects the duality of Scilly as a whole. Its north is wild and rugged, while its south is lush and subtropical, with its famous abbey gardens. Samson is particularly rich in entrance graves, cairns and kists. Some seem to have been built in alignments. A line of 3 on South Hill skirts the eastern side of the garrison on St. Mary's, and an alignment of 4 on North Hill align with a chambered cairn on Gweel Hill, Bryher, and the Old Man of Gu. Taurus is even more of a mystery, being seemingly completely misplaced. It would appear to be St. Helens, looking very like the Somerset Taurus just ahead, with its horns being golden ball and menavour. Its neck is beef neck, but it would not appear to be in the right place. Annet and its attendant islands, with the undersea contour, looks very like a fish, but once again it is in the wrong place for Pisces. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius and Aries would seem to have been claimed by the Atlantic, if they existed.